Awesome. So I'm here with Joe Rising, co-founder of Data Gives Back, and he's unlocked a really kick-ass milestone in his business. So just going to be asking you some questions, Joe. I've led with it a little bit. We'll get to, I'll get you to explain what you do and blah blah blah, but like what have you just unlocked? What has happened? What amazing milestone have you just hit?
Yeah, so we're in Q4 of the third year of our business, and we just surpassed $400,000 in revenue to date. And the key for us, because we donate 25% of our gross revenue, is that we've achieved $100,000 in donations to our charitable partner, Season Center for Grieving Children.
$100,000 donated to Season Center, which is for grieving children. Tell us a bit more about the work they do. So, grieving children, it implies something, but what do Seasons do?
Yeah, so I mean, Season Center is a really unique, amazing, really it's a mental health nonprofit, but it's something most people don't think about is the mental health challenges that children, grieving children, teens, young adults go through when they lose someone, you know, early in their life, and especially in the developmental phases. It's really tough, and I can speak from uh direct experience, having lost both my parents as a kid. So Season Center is it's a peer-to-peer support group, which is incredible. So they have their professional facilitators, with all the credentials, but it's not a one-on-one type of scenario. They're bringing children together in similar age cohorts and even similar loss cohorts, that have experienced similar things, but they're kids, so they can start to relate to each other and open up in a unique and fun way.
Wow, that's incredible. There's something about, look, there's the impact of the work because it's children and it's grief and it's not just helping someone get a six pack. It's not just, helping someone feel more confident as a speaker. Like, not that I'm knocking those things because I have clients that help people do that stuff. And I do think it's important, but this impact is incredible. But the other piece about your story and the way you've designed the company is that 25% of revenue, not profit, correct?
That's it. Yeah, revenue, top line. It
That's bold. That's surprising. That is unlike anything that I know exists out there. Tell us a bit more about that decision.
Yeah, and it's funny because you and I were starting to talk about, me leaving my corporate job as a director of insights and analytics and becoming an entrepreneur. But I made this decision before I even, kind of said, Rob, I'm going to do this thing. Uh, I just knew that in my industry and experience, 25% discount or 25% of something has impact. And so I wanted it to be very impactful. I wanted actually the business to be grown out of the impact. I wanted the impact to be at the core of everything we do every single day. I say every data point because we're a data training company. So it was at the very beginning when we started the company, that was it. It wasn't something that we added on afterwards. The revenue piece was important to me because transparency was absolutely critical in setting up our social enterprise. And I didn't want people wondering what kind of funky magical math are we doing to donate profit? Because as entrepreneurs know, or anyone in the corporate world, there's a lot of cost of goods sold and lots of other deductions that come out from top line revenue to profit. So I really wanted to be more of a facilitator of the donation, right? I say, yes, we're donating it, but really it's our clients, our corporate clients or individual training clients that are trusting our work and trusting us to take exactly 25% of whatever they invest, and then we donate it right to Season Center. So it's very easy math, but it had to be transparent, so we could understand the impact together of what that means.
You lit up when you started talking about it, wanting it to come out of the impact. To watch you started to explain that, and you're right about the funky accounting or the Hollywood style accounting where all these things could be deducted, and then at the end
Yeah.
it's and you're right. You said it's really, then it's from your clients. You are facilitating the donations, but really the donations are, we can almost say, directly coming from your clients because it's from top line versus bottom line. It's from revenue, not profit. You said transparency, and you said social enterprise, which are true because of the impact of your work. You've also unlocked something else recently to be properly, fully recognized for being a social enterprise. I know you got
Yes.
approved for something. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So this is, it's actually a pretty amazing journey. Just, not even a full 3 years yet in the fiscal. And one of the dream goals I had in the first 5 years was becoming a certified B Corp. And a B Corp certification isn't something that, people kind of are aware of every day. I think only about 10 to 15% of people and consumers understand what a B Corp is, but it is the only globally recognized certification for a social enterprise. So these are, for-profit companies that have, KPIs and metrics that are beyond top line sales and profit. And so if you think about, like, at the top is probably like a Patagonia, right? Where they've just announced recently, like, they're gonna donate pretty much everything back to the environment. So we are just incredibly, I say we because I'm partnered with my wife Carly, and we became B Corp certified this past May, and yeah, we're kind of 2.5 years ahead of my dream schedule, and now we're part of this network, like, locally in Ontario, in Canada, North America, global. So it's just starting, and it's just amazing to connect with these other purpose-driven leaders and entrepreneurs.
I bet you it is. And in a previous career, when I was head of people and culture in tech companies, one of the things I had to do is go through the process of renewing B Corp status at one of the places I worked at. And I know what's involved. I know how long the surveys are. I know all the different criteria. I know how rigorous they are. So, you know, it is a testament to that you are transparent and you're walking your talk and you truly are doing the work. You're talking there about you're 2.5 years ahead of your dream plan and your dream schedule. It makes me think of the first time you and I talked about this, and you were thinking of maybe possibly one day doing something on your own, starting your own
Mhm.
thing. Do you remember that conversation? Do you remember that?
I do. I remember it very well, and it's interesting because it was in 2019, before the pandemic, and I was going through another realm of burnout, which I felt throughout my corporate career at different times. And I remember saying to you, because you had just started, you had done something similar. You had left corporate to launch this awesome coaching business to help other coaches. And I said, I have this idea, but I think I'm like 10 years out at least, because it was scary. Like, I was going to have to leave, a well-paying job, all the nice comforts of, like, a pension, benefits, car allowance. And so I said, yeah, Rob, like, maybe 10, 15 years when I kind of retire or semi-retire, we'll circle back on that one. So
Which is wild to think because now it's been 2.5 years. You've donated $100,000 to a center for grieving children. You've been certified as a B Corp, and you've made up $400,000 in revenue. And I'm saying that last because it's almost like the extra, like those first two things are way more important.
it is. And that's how we view it. Like, actually, our number one KPI has nothing to do with monetary amount, even though it's part of the donation. But our number one KPI is the number of children that we help at Season Center, and now we're at 63. Because it's, as much as we're a data company, we're training. It's about people. Like, we're humanizing the information and data, and we're about making real impact to real children and to real lives. So
I love that because look, 100,000 is nice. It's a round number. It's six figures. It's sexy. It makes for a really great hook. However, that equals the lives of 63 children. That's 63 individual children that have been
Mm.
personally supported and helped and loved and nurtured and supported through the most difficult imaginable thing for a child.
When I think about it, I think about classrooms because
Mm.
I was 6 when my dad passed away and 10 my mom passed away. So I grew up, all through grade school and high school with that grief, especially through grade school. And so in my mind, I think about 2 full classrooms of these kids, right? I can kind of visualize that because let's be honest, I'm not always there and able to volunteer and be directly with the children. I'm primarily working Zoom based, doing my training or in person at an office. And so when I'm not there, I'm visualizing and thinking about those kids. And that drives me like, because there's long days, entrepreneur, right? There's early mornings, there's long days, there's challenges, there's stress, but it feels so different than any other time in my career.
I love that visualization because, yeah, it's like two full, two overflowing classrooms. And imagine each seat, each person, each one of those has been individually helped, and you know what that's like because you've lived through it, and you can connect and remember what it's like being in those classrooms. And yeah, it really. Yeah, I've said this to you personally, and I really think it's worth saying. Like you are inspirational. You are blazing a trail. You truly are showing the way for what is possible and what putting your money where your mouth is and putting your time, effort, resources, and heart. Like it's clear. You light up talking about this. Like your full body, mind, and soul is in this, and the impact is true and meaningful in the best of ways. And you really are an inspiration, Joe.
It's yeah, well, first of all, it's very humbling. And thank you for saying that. I'm only I'm only here because of people around me,
Mhm.
to be honest. Like, and so as much as it's like I'm, the founder of the business, it's a collective, right? It's a community. And so even, first of all, like just even working with you, how many times that even though I was excited, I was pumped, I was clear about what I wanted to do, I probably went back and forth at least 3 or 4 times, scared, not sure if this was going to work out. And it was you that kept me going. And then I got to like shed my corporate layer, rebalance my soul and my passion, right? And then attack this in a different way, like with a ton of empathy and drive. But for me, it's a community thing, right? So with the growth habit crew, I continue to be inspired so much who I'm working with and help, and then other social enterprise leaders. And the thing I would say, like, B Corp is awesome. It's a great certification, but there are so many other great businesses that are having big impact that are not certified. And those can never be discounted. And even if you're giving percent of profit, that's incredible. So just because we're doing something doesn't mean it's like the best. There's a lot of really great companies doing stuff to give back to the community, social causes, and the environment. And I'm biased, but I think that that's the only way forward for business.
Mm. I think it's a bias that a lot of people can get behind in a world where it's people are searching for meaning, people are looking for purpose, and
Mhm.
organizations are quick to let people go the moment that quarterly earnings aren't where they were hoped to be, doing something that so directly correlates to the impact. And I appreciate the way you said it too. Look, because I'm big in the way that I'm saying this praise to you because it truly is incredible the way you're doing it. And you just said it doesn't also have to be from top line. It can be from profit. Like there's to just not you're also trying to say it in a way so that people don't think it has to be so grandiose and truly
No,
impressive as the way you've done it, and that there's just so many ways to have positive impact and to be supporting social change and social good.
volunteering is incredible too. Like Season Center is only as successful because of the hundreds of volunteers that's had over its 27 years. And and I'm lucky to be one of those volunteers. as an executive grief ambassador, but however you can give back and help and is incredible to the cause. But I have to say, as someone that's also been through a lot in my life, it's very therapeutic. And you want to talk about figuring out your purpose in your life and making things feel I don't know, I guess it's good. It's a very good feeling to help others in need. There's hardly any other thing like that in the world where you can help people and you just genuinely 100% feel good about it.
Oh, I love you. All right. I think we've covered all the ground I wanted to cover. And I maybe give you one last open-ended question, which is there anything that you want to say, any message that you want others to know that you didn't get a chance to organically share based on the questions I asked you?
I would say that you know, it isn't all roses. Starting a social enterprise, being a coach, a trainer, entrepreneur. There's going to be a lot of hard days. There's going to be things that we don't do right. There's going to be tough lessons, but that's just it. Like they're lessons, right? So the thing that still, I hold because things didn't go perfect with the client or certain things, are some of my greatest learning by far. And those could be things that could stop someone in their tracks and walk away from a business. But I think if you're always trying to get constructive feedback, learn from what you're doing, both good and the bad, then you're going to be successful. Because that's the mindset that I think you really need to have as an entrepreneur, especially as a coach.
It's fun. You've tied this back to getting over the fear from maybe I'll do it in 10 or 15 years, or maybe when I retire, to actually doing it. And you're talking about how you went back and forth, like, I want to do it, but I'm afraid.
Mhm.
This piece of advice is how you start to shift that mindset that maybe in the school you went to, maybe in the places you work, maybe in the corporate roles you've had, it felt like it needed to be perfect each time and you couldn't make any mistakes. But part of the entrepreneurial journey, it is hard, but knowing that it is an ongoing process, it is learning, it is iterating. If anyone is inspired about this conversation, wants to learn more, wants to look you up, wants to, send business your way, or just spend more time getting to know you and seeing the impact of your work, where's the best place to find you and Data Gives Back online?
Definitely LinkedIn. Like, I think I got this phrase from you, but LinkedIn is my storefront, and I'm always in the store. I'm hanging out outside, and I'm doing silly posts and data posts and things like that. So just look me up, Joe Lyons Rising. Connect with me. I love having intro chats, whether it's like a Zoom like this or in person if you're kind of in the area where I live. But I just love meeting new people and helping other people because I've had so much help to where I am. And the one thing I want to say that's interesting, an interesting number, Rob, you're talking about 10 to 15 years. It was probably 7 or 8 months after our first conversation that I launched the business. So we went from like a decade to less than a year, which still blows my mind that happened. And I could not be happier. Like this is the best career move that I've made, and the weird alignment of the stars and everything all came together to do it when it was supposed to happen.
I'm glad that you brought it back to that. It's true. I'm gonna see if I can go find the screenshots. I've gone through the old
Yeah.
conversation, but just the contrast from it was like maybe in a decade to within 7 months you had made the leap, and here we are 2.5 years later with measurable, incredible impact, and you are a certified B Corp and have already helped 63 kids. And well, I was gonna say we both know, but I know with certainty, and I think you know too, that you're just getting started. That the amount of children you're gonna get to impact and the lives you're gonna change. So, thank you for being you. Thank you for agreeing to the conversation. And
Of course.
LinkedIn is the place to find Joe. Go look him up at his storefront, and anywhere you might be watching this, I'll include links to Joe's LinkedIn and his website too.
Well, thanks so much, Rob. Always a pleasure.
Thanks.